Hi, everyone. Hope this finds you healthy and well. And if not, stick around. We'll make it better. After all, that's what this channel is for, our Buddhahood. And what can improve your life condition, no matter what it is? Some Daimoku, a mandala, and some study. So let's get into it. This person advances through the world, quote unquote. Just when I'd not heard from you for some time, your letter arrived. In addition, I've received a quilted robe with a blue lining, a hat, a sash, 1,000 coins, and a basket of chestnuts. The present time corresponds to the first 500 years of the latter day of the law. Passages of the sutra clearly state that at this time Bodhisattva superior practices will appear and bestow the 5 characters of Myoho Renge Kyo on all the people of Japan. And they reveal that he will face exile and execution. I am also like the envoy of Bodhisattva superior practices, also known as Jogyo, one of the 4 leaders of the Bodhisattvas of the earth, because I spread this teaching. So once again, Nichiren equates his experience of life, his time, and his mission to proselytize the Lotus Sutra as an embodiment of this fabled characterization in the Lotus Sutra itself of the 4 leaders of the Bodhisattvas of the earth, specifically this particular one as leader, the Bodhisattva superior practices. He's not saying he's an incarnation of. Don't get into that incarnation mythology. That's not what this is about. Remember, Buddhism is about mental processes, thought processes, mental cognition, perception, and how we can retrain our minds to view the world and life in its greater picture with greater objectivity instead of always being enslaved by our desires, our wants, our various ownerships and obsessions with things, from which come all our sufferings, right? So, the supernatural powers chapter doesn't tell you to be how to be Superman or fly in the air or any of that. Supernatural powers are powers of the mind. They are supernatural. Natural powers are gravity, or the forces of nature. Supernatural powers are powers that we, with our minds, our Buddha minds, can instantiate, that are in concert with, but not evident in, casual observation or subjective observation of physical reality, because physical reality is samsara, whereas our mental cognition is, although colored greatly by samsara, has the potential to see absolutely without attachment clearly the processes of life. That's our Buddha mind, right? So the supernatural chapters, one of the chapters in the Lotus Sutra that is a teaching of mental cognition, states, quote, as the light of the sun and moon can banish all obscurity and gloom, so this person, as he advances through the world, can wipe out the darkness of living beings, end quote. So this is, to the uninitiated, this may sound like a very magical thing to say, but it's very pragmatic, it's very earthbound, and it speaks about attitude and intent, and how we can, with our Buddha mind, with our seeking Buddha-ness, we can observe the situations around us, and rather than let those situations become depressing or insurmountable and bury ourselves with worry and being upset, we can understand that they are just processes of life, and that they do not there's not impending doom at every corner, that we can lift our spirits, quote unquote, our mental experience of life above those petty, what might seem like grievances, become not grievances, become simply observations of aspects of nature, of the way life works, samsaric life, that is. In this passage from the sutra, in the 5-character phrase, this person as he advances through the world, to whom do you think this person, quote unquote, refers? I believe that it must be the person who is the reincarnation of Bodhisattva superior practices. So now I'm going to take issue with the translator using this word reincarnation. It is not a reincarnation because Bodhisattva superior practice was never incarnate. It was always a personages, a reference to a mindset. So I definitely must correct that. The sutra states, quote, after I have passed into extinction, this is the Shakyamuni Buddha talking, one should accept and uphold this sutra, such a person assuredly without doubt attain enlightenment or the Buddha way. End quote. I am sure that, and this is also in the Nirvana Sutra, I am sure that you, too, are one who assists Bodhisattva superior practices in his propagation efforts. Nichiren, the 3rd day of the 12th month in the 2nd year of Koan, 1279, cyclical sign Tsuchinoto U. It's a reply to Uemo no Tayu. So, he wrote this letter to an elder brother as basically a thank you note, and is assuring this person that their practice and their dedication of support to the votary of the Lotus Sutra is actually an offering to the sutra itself, to Myoho Renge-kyo more accurately, and therefore, because it's such a sincere offering of support, it is seen as a part of what Nichiren often calls the single-minded resolve to instantiate or join or fuse with your Buddha nature. So he's saying, thank you for all these gifts, but understand that I, Nichiren, thanking you, I'm just a man. I am thanking you as a votary of the Lotus Sutra, as an embodiment of the storied Bodhisattva superior practices. And because your offer is that sincere and made to that aspect of the teaching, then you are certain to achieve your unity with Buddhahood and attain the Buddha way. That's this whole letter. So with minus that correction I need to make. Okay, well, that's a good one. It's one that speaks to the different ways that we can support our practice. Obviously, the root of the practice is chanting Namu Myoho Renge-kyo, using a mandala to enable us with our visual, mind, and oral, and physical dedication, focus on our Buddha nature, and resonate with this mandala, our internal Gohonzon, our Buddha wisdom, to instantiate that Buddha-ness. And that's the core of the practice. But because Buddhahood isn't limited to this construct of in samsara, of your body, this mandala, the chant, it is also in your actions, because ultimately Buddhism is about this mind and how we conduct or behave in samsara with this mind. Is all our thoughts, our actions, our deeds based on Buddha-ness? Or are they based on the avarice, greed, and manipulations and foolishness of our samsaric existence? It's a very tough switch to flip, right, and maintain. But it can be seen in specific acts. And this is the benefit of the Sangha, those of other people that are also on this path at whatever levels we are. What matters is how we support one another. And certainly our teachers, that is a support to one another as well. For instance, I say it all the time when I get patronage from those of you who either are following me on Patreon and give a monthly donation, or those of you who send a singular donation whenever you can, sporadically. your efforts, or I've received candles, I've received singing bowls and other accoutrements that I can pass on to other members. Even a video screen that I needed for editing, which has become a standard part of my setup here to create these videos. There are all ways of supporting this Sangha, right? And those causes are just like you sitting in front of your mandala and sincerely chanting Daimoku, reciting Gongyo. They are acts made to support your practice, all of our practice. That is very bodhisattva way. And so there are benefits, rewards to that behavior, right? So that is part and parcel of why we chant to this mandala and awaken our Gohonzon, so that we can navigate this life with a benevolent attitude, an objective attitude, an unaffected attitude, an intent to assist others, and to assist them to the point where if the opportunity presents, we can assist them into this practice for themselves. That's the greatest reward, right? That is full-on bodhisattva. But there are different levels. You don't have to conk people over the head. You just need to be the example. They will get curious. They will want to know. And if they don't, then they become friends from a distance. They don't try to take you down, tear you down. Those that might require our dedicated Daimoku to protect ourselves and to repel those people. Maybe even change their minds. It's happened in the sutras, hasn't it? Devadatta tried to kill the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and then ended up being his greatest one of his greatest supporters, and was predicted to achieve his enlightenment. So you never know. The thing that's always number one is this attitude. And with that attitude, how we project, what our intent is. That's everything. And if you find you're having bad thoughts in your mind, or you're not feeling well, or you're feeling depressed, I've done it myself, lift my sorry butt up and drag myself in front of this mandala and chant for as much as I can. And it helps, it changes, it evolves. Sometimes I do it and I forget what the hell I was so upset about. Perfect. So, I hope this encourages your practice. This was a very short one, but we got to talk, and that's always precious to me, and I hope in some way inspires you, gives you insight. And if something comes up that was exciting about your practice, or something you're trying to overcome, share it in the comments, and we'll all chant about it, and we'll all help one another. Okay? In the meantime, stay healthy and be kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for being here. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Bye-bye.